Welcome to the Foul Out Podcast. Today we got a few special guests on. We got Shaq on the cam. We got Willie on the cam. My brother Arkeem and myself. And we got a few things on the docket today. We got Mississippi man hacks Human Resources Department. Um, we got new data on Black family reunions declined at 47% since 1997. Texas flood, death tolls. Elon Musk want to create a American party. We got a range of things. So I guess the first thing we should get into is the Mississippi man hacks into the Human Services Department and loads $2,500 worth of food stamps onto every applicant's on every existing card holder's card and mails them out. And he makes a 100K bond in 30 minutes. So the real question is, this guy's like a hacker Robin Hood. Is he a hero or a bad guy?
Or is he a delinquent?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I guess I'll pop it off. Told you the most mobile podcast online. Little Foul Out. All right, who is that? Becky.
It should be gone now. That was me.
Okay. So he is a absolute hero, and then he's a villain. $2,500 on food stamps cards to random people. You don't know who these people are. That is a terrible offense. This guy is definitely going to jail. He bonded out in 30 minutes because he's hacked banks before. Anybody that can, they said he hacked it out. He got it out with his own money. So he didn't hack the bank before and told somebody where the money was. So they're about to go down this dude's throat, pause, and just find everything there is to find out about him. And they're going to book him with something else. One thing you can't do in America, and that is successfully help the poor. You only can give the image and illusion of trying to help the poor, but you can never actually help them. If you do, bam! R.I.P. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, JFK, and everybody else.
Listen, his heart was in the right place. A lot of people gonna see that at face value, they gonna clap, they gonna say, "Man, look at that hero." You know what I'm saying? And I kind of admire the Rage Against the System type deal. You know what I mean? But this is just a dumb idea. I just saw some in the news about this lady who her company mistakenly gave her 200K or something like that in her account,
Yeah,
or her paycheck, whatever it is, and she ended up spending. I don't know if she spent all of it, but it seemed like it was a great deal because she got in trouble behind it. And my thing is, in a case like this, them people who got that money or got that credit on that EBT, can they even spend it? You know what I'm saying? Or are they gonna get in trouble for it? Because I would think I would lean toward them getting in trouble for it if they used it. Similar to that lady getting in trouble for her job giving her hundreds of thousands of dollars in her account.
Yeah, that's the same thing I wonder. Sometimes it's about magnitude. So the 200K, is at a much greater magnitude than a 2,500. But you never know. Like sometimes it just depends on what color the person is. Um, but I'm gonna just go ahead and say this guy's a hero because that was somebody's blessing. You know what I mean? The way I view it, and if he didn't get caught, then it would have just been like a lot of other cyber crimes that just like people benefit from it, and then that's that. But he did get caught, but I'm gonna say hero in my book.
I mean, we got to accept the small victories too. Go ahead, Shaq.
Look, I get the sentiment. He was doing the right thing. Like Jay said, his heart was in the right place. The problem arises whenever this happens multiple times. This can't keep happening over and over again. If it happens over and over again, that is eventually going to affect somebody that's not just that organization, right? What is who pays for those things, right? We do as taxpayers. Oh, hey, hey. So us paying for it as taxpayers, that means that every single time that happens, eventually it's going to add up to the point where, like, well, we all superseded our budget because we keep getting attacked cyberly. So therefore, we're going to have to raise the taxes on more individuals, right, or the citizens of the country, right? And I know that's me blowing out of proportion, and like it'll have to happen a lot in order for that to take place. But there's a rules in place for a reason, and I get it. But that effort that he put into that could be put into other things that could be more productive and more substantial, have a longer hold or a longer efficacy. That's what we need. They don't need just a short little boost. Yeah, they good for maybe the next month or two, but what about after that?
Yeah.
So anarchy, I'm against anarchy. I like the sentiment. I like the drive and will to help others because we don't have enough of that in our world. But we gotta find more effective ways to solve our problems than stealing.
I can't wait for them boys to get their hands on him. They gon' charge him something real good. Uh, he ain't the first Robin Hood. He ain't gonna be the last one. And honestly, I hope they throw the book at him. All that sentiment and
Why
all
you
that.
want to throw the book at it, man?
Cause,
He
cause
did,
look, man, everybody got these feel good stories for these YN criminals, and at the end of the day, all he could do was think of getting some food stamp money and thought that was really gonna do something. I bet he was in there, thought he was Dexter or something. Thought he was really finna do something. And they gonna get him. What state was this in?
this was in
Mississippi.
Jackson, bro.
Ooh, wee boy. Ooh. Boy. Y'all better keep an air tag on him. Cause he gonna be hard to find after a couple of months. He chose this in Mississippi. Look, this man could have been he could have got a full stack. Could have went to the University of Phoenix, got him a really did it the right way, and he decided to do it the quick way, the quick and the ugly, right? So they finna do him real bad. I think he just another wasted talent. Look, man, this ain't. Look, Superman come out tomorrow. This ain't no James Gunn movie. Just cause you go in there and pull some Robin Hood hacking people stuff, they gonna put hands and feet on him. They gonna whoop him up pretty bad. And he probably gonna have to do a crazy amount of time considering the crime. But it's gonna learn him something. And hopefully when he get out, he can find a way to do something the right way. Cause vigilantes, as y'all see, it don't really make it out for them too well being a vigilante. But I salute the young king, and I'll put something on his books. Just let me know what his name is.
You'll put something on his books.
I'll put something on his books because he did something chivalrous, I guess, if you look at it that way. But I'll put something on his books.
People gonna put that bread on him.
Put something. I put it to work. But nah, man.
Like, you know
Hate
he in
hate that a smart.
Jackson. Now, what if he see this and he look at you and he gets your name and then he say, "Yeah, I'm gonna do his bank account next." Then what?
Anarchy.
Anarchy. Shaq, what you think about Shaq? What's up with you and anarchy? And for those who don't know on the pod, anarchy has two definitions: the state of disorder due to absence or non recognition of authority or other controlling systems. That sounds like
Well,
something
it's
Jalen like.
Jaden like anarchy.
Yeah, he loved like anti government. Like this dude right here has probably got a picture in Jay's house somewhere.
Man, I I just don't like people breaking the rules just because they can. I don't like that. It's not it's just it's not fair. It's just that's not the way it works. If everybody obeyed the rules that we all agreed to, it could be better. We could be good. But but because people choose to break rules because they can, stuff gets more complicated. That's all I'm gonna say. But that's why I keep saying anarchy, anarchy, anarchy. It does not lead to the path that we wanted to. Now, it's not to
Hey,
say that revolutions are not are not good and don't have their place.
Shaq, did you watch Rocket Power growing up?
Yeah.
You remember? Do you remember Twister's older brother named Lars?
Yeah, kind of. How do how do you
You
remember
remember?
this so well?
Yeah, he had an older brother named Lars, and he got this one line that is probably like greater than the whole show. They was playing street
What's the
hockey, and he did something to the puck, and then he said, his little brother said, "Lars, that's cheating." Lars said, "It's only cheating if you get caught." Okay, there's a lot of people out here who done cheated and got millions, hundreds of millions, and done a lot of things up under the sun, and they just never got caught. And you call them a hero. Some of your heroes right now. And I learned that about Lars because that was the episode about that mayor. They was trying to teach us something on the low key. Hey, who made Rocket Power? I know he black trying to teach. He was just trying to teach you something for when you grew up later on. But that's a whole nother story.
All that's true, man. But also it's just the aesthetics for me. Like this just paints a picture of okay, here go this nigging again. You know, another waste of the taxpayers' dollars on this stuff like EBT that we already don't mess with anyway. It just a bad picture overall. Like the effects behind it just ain't cool.
Well, let me tell you something, Jay. The people who make the rules, they see fit for EBT to be here. Jim Bob, who work at the county gas store, who despises EBT, his opinion obviously don't count because if it did, EBT wouldn't be here, right? So we as Americans in every state across this great nation have all come together, Democrat and Republican, and realized that SNAP benefits are necessary under some circumstances, at the least. Right? So they're supposed to be here. And as those and everybody who's in those positions, 90% of them are educated, 90% of them are well liked and held regard by their peers. And those people are the ones who are the lawmakers and run the country. And like I said, every one of them, at the least, believes SNAP holds some place here in America.
That's
That's for
facts.
sure. It's just any detractors that want to go against it, it just add a little fuel to the fire. But I definitely agree.
Yeah, he hacked in there. He hacked in there and he did what he did. But the government get hacked all the time. Now, what we're going to really find out is, usually whenever a white boy hack into the system, they give him a job. This guy hacked into the system. Let's see what they do.
Yeah.
Wait, do you have any proof of that? They give white dudes a job.
Hell yeah, yeah. When people, what'd
I
you
was
say?
wondering how he knew that.
Like where is that from? Because we can't be putting
You
Dude,
would think that
misinformation
wouldn't
out
be
there.
public
hackers,
knowledge.
dude. It's plenty hackers who hack into. It got to be big hacks now. It can't be like nothing little. Remember those Lizard Squad guys? Those Lizard Squad guys work for the federal government right now. Like if you hack into it, it was one guy he hacked into it and did something. They gave him 5 years in jail and then offered him a job when he came home. That's a
Well,
thing.
there's
Just look it
a
up.
I mean, Anthony can probably attest to this too. I mean, there's definitely a thing that you have to have, or like people that want to have high security platforms do want hackers within a controlled environment to try to like hack into their system to make sure that they work out the bugs and the kinks and stuff. So I can see, like, to your point, if it's a big hack, like a big major thing like this, like these people broke into our electrical grid, you know, we probably want to hire them and figure out like how'd y'all do that? And
Yeah,
now let's
Kevin
pay them a
Kevin
bunch of money to
Mitnick.
make sure they can. Okay,
Yeah, Kevin
but
Mitnick
this is
served
this is
five
different.
years and became security consultant. Worked with the government on the private sector. Founded Mitnick Security Consulting. Later worked with the FBI on cybersecurity training. Yeah, that's what they do. And I'm trying to see if this guy here hacked into a federal system. Will they give him a job,
They
or are they just
do.
gonna try to?
Did he cost them money?
Well,
I'm just
yeah, he cost.
curious what the
Who
difference
did
is.
Mitnick cost some money? He cost
Yeah,
them way more
yeah.
money than this guy, than the black guy did. Hell yeah. Hell
Mm.
yeah, yeah. He cost them way more
All
money
right,
and embarrassed them. This guy, he probably
all right. Our king
cost
has some
about a couple
receipts.
mil. A couple
All
mil.
right, America. He had receipts, America. He had receipts.
Yeah, look,
For
Chris
sure.
Roberts, Hector Mansour, Peter Zatko. It goes all the way down. They do that. That's the thing. But what you got, Ant?
Yeah, let's go ahead and move to this next one. So, research says black family reunions have seen a 47% decline since 1997. Main reason due to elders passing and unresolved family issues. Um, what's y'all's families like? When the last time y'all had a family reunion?
So I was fortunate to recently have a family reunion back here, and I think it was May, late May. But before that, it had been a while. And like you said, I think it is due to the passing of elders and things like that. But I don't know anything about the, bad relationships within the family. But before this year, it had been a long time. So I definitely can see where the stat comes from. And I think honestly, the lack of, continuing to do that family metric in the black, community has led to a lot of issues with our youth today, to be honest. And I mean, family reunions is just lacking those is just really missing out on a big opportunity to meet people in your family and just ultimately have a great time because we really had a good time at the family reunion.
So I'm kind of the different. I've had a family reunion every single year since I remember being alive. Like I don't remember a year where we didn't have a family reunion, whether it was going to my dad's or going to my mom's. Like I got a family reunion next week on a side of the family I ain't never going to Charlotte, and then we got a family reunion and oh, so yeah, I've had a family reunion every single year. I think I've been alive on Earth, but and so I definitely see that as definitely it's on the younger generation, right? So you got to have a really strong younger generation. When I say younger generation, I mean under 50, because the old people. Well, my opinion is I think family reunions were valued back then because we don't have what we have today, which is like phones. Like back then, they didn't have phones, right? Not grandma and granddad couldn't get a plane ticket anytime they wanted to. Travel was not what it is today. So it was very sacred back then to have those family reunions because that might be the only time you see your family all year, right? So I definitely think that plays a big part of it as well. And just how entrenched your family is in tradition. And like my family on my dad and my mom's side, they're very big on family reunions. And so even if it's last minute, even if it's like the same people who've been doing it for the last 15 years, they try to knock one out every single year just because like what Jalen was talking about, you lose family members, XYZ, you want to keep the family close. And I think though that number is going to increase because as the older generation dies out, if you don't have a really good young generation, that's why they try to get us in the younger generation in my family to join the board, like join the family reunion board, be the ones who help organize it. That way it keeps going from those same people who've been doing it for like 30, 40 years. And so I hope that's the case for my family that we keep it going. I can't speak for everybody else's family, but I do think that number is going to go up the more grandma, grandpa, great auntie pass away. If there isn't a base set for the younger generation in the family to continue that tradition.
Do white people have family reunions?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, um, as far as my family reunion, we had one in 1997 when I was a kid, and then we had one when it was like 2003 or four or something like that.
10 maybe.
Nah, that wasn't 10. Oh, you talking about in
I
Memphis?
was talking about the one in Memphis. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like probably like
So
2000.
yeah, on
Yeah, that's
basically on our
2010.
dad's side, they have one like every year or 2 years. On our mom's side, it's a lot more scarce.
Yeah, yeah. I
That's
don't know
how it
what the
is for us
reason.
too. But I guess we kind of meet more often on my mom's side. Like we gather over my great grandma's house more often just throughout the year. But like you said, we do bigger family gatherings with my dad's side, but my dad's side is bigger than my mom's. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Yeah, my dad's side is bigger than my mom's side. My dad family they had 8 kids or 6 kids or eight. Yeah, 8 of them, I think, or six. It's one of them. And then my grandma only had 3 kids, so they're much bigger. But it seemed like I see my mom's family a lot more. It's like you'll be at a random, hey, such and such getting married, and the whole family kind of show up to this person's wedding. That's kind of
Right.
how it feels for my
Exactly.
mom's side. Yeah, but we never have an official reunion. It's kind of like the reunion is. I hate to say it like this, but like the funerals and I guess the weddings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why some people are trying to make it a bigger thing to like really give flowers while people here and gather more while people are alive and just try to get family members to know each other because a lot of times it be cousins on down the line you never meet. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
Yeah. And
I
and
still never
then and
met
then
LL
also
Cool
like
J.
bro, that is
yeah,
not your
and then
cousin.
also whenever you go to like the weddings or the funerals, you have so much fun. And then it's always that one person that say, "Man, we gotta do this again." When it's not for this occasion. Like when it's a funeral, and
Exactly.
everybody say, "Yeah, yeah, we gotta do this."
What, you had fun at a funeral? This man is sick.
Man, whose funeral was that? When
He about to really say.
uh,
He about to validate this.
man,
I say, oh yeah,
whose
cousin
funeral was
Leroy,
that?
boy, his funeral was fun. Let me
Well,
tell you.
yeah, I don't want to say, but I just remember when we met up with Darren and like we all went out to eat and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's a tough one. I agree with you when you said that's a big reason why like the family structure is kind of like unraveling in our community, because they say family is the smallest unit of society, so
Mm,
it's like the building block of everything,
man, I like that.
contextually.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and whenever you
Yeah,
see those movies of like the 1%, they always have like large family gatherings and stuff. It's like if they out on a boat or something, their whole family be out there, the brother, you know what I mean, fishing, doing something. And then whenever you watch movies about the poor, it's never too family oriented, or it's something very violent going on from a cousin or something like that. It's like ruckus, you know. And I don't know. I have just as much experience with that low end as I do with the high. But that's just how it's depicted. So I imagine it's some sort of reality to it.
Definitely a correlation. I mean, to be honest, being in the struggle just, I mean, brings more struggle, versus people who are living in privilege. It's a lot of events that they not, you get more free time, you know what I'm saying, when you are privileged. You
Don't
get
you
to
have
bring your
like
family around.
extreme? Don't you have extreme disdain for the 10% of
For the
America?
privileged,
Yeah, don't you have
you
like an
know,
extreme disdain
for a
and
great, for a great majority, you know, for a great majority. But
let's tap into that.
it's
Why do
not.
you hate them?
Well, see, it stems from a deep dislike of just show offy people. Not even show offy people, man. It's just I always wonder how much is enough. You know what I mean? And it's just like you get these people up there, and when you talk about the 1%, this is, I mean, just generational wealth is an understatement. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the amount of good you could do with a small portion of your money is just insane. And I'm just wondering,
But this
like,
is
at
what I
what
always
point
ask people like you. I ask people like you this.
is it financial security though, or is it greed? And what is there a fine line, or is there no such thing as greed?
Okay, but this is what I like to ask people like you. How much do you give to people less fortunate than you?
Mm, not too often, to be
All
honest.
right, so they're the same way. Okay, so there you go.
But
They
they
are the
got, but
same
they
way.
got, but I got. But they got the resources to do so. Like I give more so
You
to my family.
you have
So
a
it's just
resource
like,
to do so too. You have the resources to do the same thing too. You have the time. You can make the time. You can make the time. You can
oh no,
volunteer the soup
I
kitchen.
do that.
You can volunteer the soup
I give
kitchen.
clothes back and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So,
Well,
I
give
do
it
stuff
close.
like that. But
Okay, and then they may say, "Hey,
I
look,
mean
I'm
like
a billionaire, and I
financial
give a
financial
$10,000 check
donations.
over here." But
Like this dude today, I seen he was outside, and I kid you not, bro. It was real weird because I was reading Genesis today, and I got in the Noah part, and where the bow was in the clouds. And bro, I seen a rainbow for the first time in forever today. So I just thought that was kind of cool. But this dude, kind of with this one leg, that's in this wheelchair, right? I think I seen him this morning when I was getting ready to go to work, right? He was on county line. Okay. I seen him again when I got off of work this afternoon on county line before I went home. And I seen him again when I left to go get my nukes on a totally different side of the town with a cap on. Chill out, bro. Chill out. With a cap on his leg or whatever.
it's
And
a
it
little
was just
dirty.
real odd, bro. No, listen. It was just real odd, bro, because I saw the rainbow at the same time. And then when I came out of nukes, he was at the stoplight coming out of nukes. So I was just like, bro, this is crazy. Like, how is he getting
He a
around like this?
shapeshifter.
But I don't know, bro.
He
I was
working
like,
that.
is this dude an
He
angel?
working that
Is he an
pirate nub.
angel or something? I was like, is he an angel or something
So
like
you
that?
gave him your nukes.
When I passed by him
Mm-mm.
this last time, I felt like I was being called to like give this man something. You know what I'm saying? No Diddy. But give this man something, to like help him out or whatever. I didn't because he was on the side of the road that I couldn't stop at, but I felt like I was supposed to.
Gotcha, gotcha.
But you ain't do nothing, man. You ain't.
Yeah,
Nah.
he okay, but see, this is what I was telling him, Willie.
I just found it
Jalen
interesting
hates
how he was in so many different spots.
his wheelchair got a motor in it, Jalen. I
What
was
are
telling
y'all
him,
talking about?
Willie, he Jalen
Don't think
hates like the top 10% or the top 5% of America in the wealth. He hates them. He say it's just so much they can do with their wealth, with a small percentage of
And
their
then
wealth,
he
so much good
don't
they
want to
can
give
do.
no.
hate hate is such a
But won't
strong
give a
word,
man, but won't get a man a
That's
burger, won't get a man
I
$5.
would. I would
funny.
have if I was in a place to stop, you know what I'm saying? But he was just like every time I seen him, he was like in a place where I couldn't get to him.
I'm definitely big on giving, whatever time, and probably to a detriment to myself. Money. I remember last year I gave so much money it kind of hurt. But you can't look at it like that. You got to look at it like, this is a seed that I'm sowing. And then you know what's so good about it when you give and
I don't even look at it.
you don't even think about it. I ain't talking about giving
Yeah.
$5. I'm talking about one of the hardest ones. I gave somebody $1,000 straight up. So like
You didn't
I'm
say
talking,
it. You know it hurt him because he bring this up like every 2 weeks.
but what I'm saying, I mean, that was a challenge. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm being serious. Cause like, you give here and there, but when you really gotta give, whether it's your time, whether it's money like that, and you can give and you don't gotta sit there and like be having, cause sometimes when people hear that amount of money, no matter what it is, okay, it was $1,000 for me, it might have been 500, might have been 100,000 for somebody else, right? You can give and have like an animosity or have a grudge towards somebody. And
Hmm.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought that I was gonna have that, but money don't rule you if you have
My bad.
like if money rules you. I think to give, you feel like you giving a piece of yourself. But at the end of the day, bro, money is what it is. It's a means to an end, but
I agree. It's a means to an end.
we not promised tomorrow. So I say, do what you can, bro. If you want to give that money, give it and give it full of love. Because if you give,
Yeah.
it will come back to you, no matter what.
Well,
Or
well, well.
That person you give to ain't guaranteed to live tomorrow either. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't at that
Mm,
stage where I'm gonna just give somebody $1,000 freely and willingly, But I'm with you when you say
It was
that,
really a
you give
shakedown,
somebody
Jalen. He had no
grudgingly,
choice.
you get you get somebody grudgingly, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't do that. If I'm gonna extend myself to give that to you, then it's gonna be,
it's, bro, it's
freely with no animosity or no grudge, you know
like
what I'm saying?
I was saying, Jalen,
But
too.
that's why I wouldn't give it to you because I know I'm gonna be like, man, why did
It
I do this
always
to this person?
comes back.
You'll have to have a good reason. I'm not gonna give it to you just because you like, man, bruh, I'm down on my luck, back against
No,
the wind. Can't like
it,
I ain't giving it to you just because that.
but
Nah,
what
you
I'm
You
ain't.
what I
sound
was
just
getting at
like
is
them rich folk.
when you give from your
We
heart,
got some
always
similarities.
back, bro. It's like doing something right. When you do right, right comes to you. I truly believe that, and it has not failed me yet. So there you go.
Now,
So
I
with that,
feel
I be
like
thinking like it's some homeless people. I don't mean to cut you off, Arcane. This is my last thing.
go
It's
ahead.
some homeless people or some, people who ain't got it like that, who was given willingly and freely. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's just one of them things where you got to give with some sense, bruh. I don't think people out here just like giving, 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 and you ain't gonna go to zero. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get on rock bottom or skid row.
It's not like, see, that's like looking at it like you a bank or something. It's not that you a bank. It's just that when an
You a bank.
opportunity presents itself for you to provide a service, if it's in your heart to do it, you just do it. You don't sit there and think
Oh
about,
yeah,
oh, well, I gotta devote this to that. Because if you gotta do all that, you shouldn't even do it, right? So
exactly. Yeah.
that's what it is. It's not given to you poor. It's just that if you know you're in a position to give and there's an opportunity to give, and it's on your heart to give, you should just do it. And so that's every single case for me. It's been like that. It's never been where my finances at. It's just, nah. You know what? It's on my heart to do this. Let me do it.
Facts. Let's go ahead and push. I want to just throw in a little fun topic real quick. If you was in school with all of these girls and it was your classmate, prom is coming up, who are you taking as your date? These are some of the, I guess, main women or characters in some
from the 90s.
popular black sitcoms from the 90s and 2000s. Who
Who the
y'all
hell
taking?
is Spirit?
Who is Brianna?
Lord have mercy.
But I'm taking Hillary
What are white women?
Banks.
You get more than one.
Dude, I just watched Blazing Saddles, and this was an opportunity to say that. Where are white women at?
Hey, I'm
Nah,
Man,
taking
they got the
Hillary for
top
sure.
three. They got the top
100%
three at the top left.
taking Brianna, no doubt about it.
Ashley, Claire, and Laura.
I watched
You
one to one
taking
all the
Kyla
time.
Pratt?
Yes, sir.
Ain't no
Taking
way you
Kyla.
taking Kyla. Heck nah.
Dude, I
You
watched that show
tripping.
so much. You crazy.
Penny
I
Kyla
used to
was
Proud.
watch 101, 101.
one on one
I used to
with
watch
Flex.
101.
Come on.
See,
Kyla
The
sounded
baddest
Flex,
ones up
Flex
there is
Washington.
Ashley, Claire, and Hillary.
Come on, dog.
I'm
I'm
Ashley,
trying to
Claire, and
pick
Laura
between the
probably.
three.
man.
Nah,
You
give
don't
me
put Brianna.
Hillary. I'll take
Brianna
Man,
Hillary
Hillary
all
is
day.
not over Laura, bro. Stop the madness.
Dude,
ain't none of
Stop the
them over
madness,
Brianna.
man.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right.
I
Brianna,
think
baby.
They
I
can
don't
almost
know,
delete
man.
that whole last row.
Damn.
No, Whitney,
Man,
Whitney
Jalen,
was
Moesha,
straight,
hey,
and I like
Brandy
Brandy.
was hurting Moesha, bro. She used to have them
Brandy
micro
was
braids
cute.
that was too tight for her head, showing too much
Yeah,
scalp. That before
bro,
women
well,
love to
Taylor,
you know,
learn to love themselves.
I think I'm gonna go
Myra was
Ashley,
straight
bro.
too. R.I.P. Myra was straight too. R.I.P. though.
Yeah, Myra
I'm gonna
Straight, she
go
number 4.
Ashley. The Fresh
she did.
Prince just took time. What did he say? The Fresh Prince just had dinner with
Nah,
Tatiana. No lie.
Hillary. If we
I
talking
would go
Fresh
Ashley.
Prince, Hillary shitting on Ashley.
Stop it. Please stop it.
Brianna,
In her prime,
Please stop it. No.
you didn't have
Hillary
No.
up
Hillary
there
hey,
in that.
was way more
Man,
going than
Hillary's
Ashley.
attractiveness came from the way she carried herself. That's what you get lost in. That's what y'all
you
get
didn't.
lost in.
Why'd you even put
Hey,
Whitley on here,
you're
bro?
right, and I ain't
You
looking
could have
for
put
a mount.
Whitley. You could have put Margot Robbie or Dua Lipa or old girl from Sinners where you put Whitley on there.
They wasn't even alive. They wasn't even alive when this came out.
What's my short hair queen name? I'm
But
surprised they
Brianna
ain't
on
got
here.
her on his shit. Nia Long. Why they see if they had her on here,
Oh,
it wouldn't even been a
Nia
hard
Long.
choice.
Yeah,
Bro,
yeah,
Brianna's
you
yeah.
fine.
got what you got, and you pick what you pick. Who you got, Jalen?
Man, I'm going. If I had to have a top three, like I said, I'm going
No, no,
Ashley.
no. You got to pick one, bro.
It's a top
I
one.
thought y'all picked more than one, bro. Y'all dirty. All
No,
right,
I said
Yeah,
Ashley. Arcade said Hillary.
I said
Willie
Brianna.
said Kyla Pratt.
Kyla Pratt.
I'm
There you
going.
go.
I need to look up some more pictures of Laura, but I'm gonna go Ashley.
Okay.
Y'all
That
And who you
top three
Then
got,
crazy.
hard
Hillary
Jay?
was
though.
Who you
dumb. Then Hillary was dumb too. Woo!
Bro, y'all did
Dumbass
not watch.
bitch.
Y'all did not watch one to one, bro. Kyla was a star.
Bruh, you
You
didn't watch
tripping,
it
bro?
either because it's called one on one. This boy
That's what
saying
I
one
said.
to
One on
one.
one.
Yeah, you ain't watching it either.
You know
I
that's
did watch
recorded.
one.
I
Man,
see
bro.
you ain't go. Like I see you ain't going to get it.
You ain't pick.
Kyla
Yeah, but
Pratt just
that
ain't got that sex appeal like that, bro. She a
yeah,
teenage crush
yeah,
type, but she ain't got that sex appeal. She ain't got that
yeah.
pizzazz.
Penny Proud looks better than Kyla. But
That's
Hmm.
crazy. If she ain't had a
Wow.
man,
nah,
Oh
but
man.
Kyla, for a
bruh,
young
so Penny Proud mama wasn't
Oh yeah, Trudy
come on,
was
man.
bad.
Bro, come
Shooty
on.
Ray.
Every cartoon that people watched that was popular from the 90s to the early 2000s had a banging mama in them. Come on, man.
You cap is a
We on
mug.
Penny
hentai.
Come
Okay,
on,
I
Proud.
see y'all.
Dexter
Trudy.
Mama,
Trudy
Dexter
Proud.
Mama,
Miss Impossible.
Trudy, Miss
Wait, Miss
Impossible.
Possible?
You got Timmy Turner Mama. All
What about
on.
Home Improvement?
That's not a cartoon.
What about Roseanne?
Definitely not a cartoon. What about the nanny?
What's it, Roseanne? Oh yeah.
Shaq, if you talking, you on mute, bro. Can't even hear you. But that was a good
All these
topic. I'm gonna
90s
go ahead
fantasies
and
on my mind.
But y'all should have put if you
throw
The
talking
this
about
only
throw this
difference is
one up here.
finding out
02
that you will be time.
90210.
You breaking up, Willie.
Elon Musk creates the America Party, or at least he's thinking about it.
Rep,
You
rep.
know, a lot of people saying that it's gonna cost a lot of money, but I mean, he got the money. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Rep.
They finna
Um, I do
or
wonder. My question for y'all is: if he creates this America Party and he makes it like have centrist views, like not too far to the right, not too far to the left, just the main things that people care about on both sides. Do you think he can make some shape?
If he push
no,
Dogecoin, I'm in that hoe.
no, because he
I'm
he
in that
not
joint.
gonna make this at
I'm
all.
in that mode.
I staunch Republican. I think he's very conservative, but I just think he's not having his way with Trump, so he's gonna make another conservative
Pump
sect
and dump.
weigh in. So no,
Pump and
Elon kind
dump.
of.
Pump and dump.
He, he's not gonna get enough people, man.
If any, I
Not
hope
enough
he
people gonna join the party
puts
to
He
make
get
him
that
the
Party.
crypto
head.
going. He got me. Pump and dump.
I don't think women should have rights.
Jay, you selling out?
You say what?
I am sold
No,
out.
wait a minute. Everybody be quiet. What you just say, Willie?
I said I don't think
He trying to
Oh,
act
Elon.
we
like he
already got
froze.
him.
Am I
Oh,
frozen?
I thought you said you thought that.
No, you're not. You're not. You're good.
Oh, so y'all heard me?
So
Y'all
you
heard?
say
I
you
thought I don't
think
think women should have rights.
No, we didn't. No, I didn't hear you. Me and Jay were talking at the same time you were talking.
Oh, well, you
yeah,
saw his CEO lady just quit.
he
I,
got a
I just think Elon is
he
very extreme. I think he's but I also think he's a con man too. But whatever. I mean, whatever. The American
y'all
Party.
know Willie got an iPhone 4 now, right?
What?
Willie has an iPhone 4.
Oh, Akeem, I don't know, man. You got the worst picture quality right now. Yours is pixelated. Willie's is good.
It'll fix in it. Mine, I actually maybe mine is pixelated because I got a 4K camera. They told me not to get it, but maybe it's got a downside so it can push out. But that's why I'm so clear in the actual videos when we post them. But Willie has
Uh,
an iPhone 4.
Willie, do you really have an iPhone 4? Or what's
I'm not.
happening?
I chose not to respond to that. I do not have an iPhone 4. I don't think an iPhone 4 could even get the app. So there you go.
Some good deductive reasoning right there. So, hmm, for this Elon topic, though, my thoughts on this is that I don't think he's going to get enough people to sway the population enough. Why everybody going off camera? What's going
Man,
on?
the implica-
Everybody's off camera.
I'm gonna be implicated, Shaq. Let's come on, let it rip.
I ain't got nothing crazy to say. I'm working off of 3 hours of sleep, but
Oh, you knew what
homeboy,
you were for that. You
Listen,
knew what
man,
you.
y'all tripping, bro. This is Big Elon. Big Elon went in the Oval Office with Trump and came out unscathed, man. Listen, he about to do something
Uh,
big, man. All I'm trying to
uh,
say is I'm trying to
uh,
be in the flood. I just want to be in the flood. I just want to be a part of it. I just want my little
A lot of
piece.
people think Elon is over for him.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm gonna keep my lifeboat, but I'm on the ship.
He finna be on the first thing smoking.
If
Man, ain't nobody doing that with Big
if
Eli, man.
if all right, so how this is how I look at it. He gonna have to dump a lot of money into it. I'm thinking upwards of like $1 to $5 billion,
He already
funding
got Twitter.
campaigns, funding super PACs, funding staffers and everything like that. And they gonna have to take a lot of L's like in the first few elections that they get in, like this, if they try to get into the midterms coming up, they gonna get washed. But that's part of the game. In order
Right.
to change
Gotta
people's
grow.
behaviors, you gotta like be in their face for a while. So they gonna get washed. But man, if he stick with it long enough, and then they start pulling out some like victories, like local elections, and then state elections or something like that, and then they get their first senator or something, it could become, I'm not going to say a serious contender to the DNR, but they might be an alternate party, you know, if they can actually start winning. But I think they're going to get whooped.
So this is my
You know,
thing. My issue is, why does he need to start a new party? Why don't he just support good people? Like, he's the richest man in the world. You don't have to start a new party. But that's that country. That's what I'm telling you. That's why it's going to fail. He has the
It's that
control
super
narrative.
ego.
Exactly, 100%. So, like, the candidate who's running for mayor right now of New York, Mumbandi, right? He is a different candidate. He's a Democratic
He a
socialist,
democratic
right?
socialist.
He believed that buses in New York should be free. He think it should be city-owned groceries that are lower and help support the poor. So this is my thing, right? And I'm not leaning either way for support or not, but people scream for these ideas like Jalen or somebody. Why can't we have people who give us free food, or who like make public transportation free? And then some guy like Umbandi wants to come in and do it, and now it's like, oh no, we can't do that. But like, that's what y'all was screaming for. Y'all was screaming
Because
for
Willie, the
women.
truth is nothing is free. Nothing
Exactly.
is free. You gonna pay for it. And when all them poor people getting free food, who gonna pay for it?
Oh, that's his whole thing. His thing is that New
You.
York City makes so much tax money. No, that's what I'm saying. Yes, that's part of it. He's saying New York City makes so much tax money that they can afford to give free buses to have city-owned groceries. So my question for the panel is this right here: would you rather have your money go to free buses and city-owned groceries, or would you rather look up 10 years later and see that your state senator embezzled $100 million out of your tax money? It's the same thing.
Exactly.
At least one of them, you seeing something happen.
Like
And
I
that's
said, I
why
You know what I
I
mean?
always
am an
was
anarchist. That's why I like people who
I
rage
mean, bro,
against the
like,
system right there.
like, 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 be real. Would you rather have that happen? Or would you rather look like in Mississippi, where $100 million in TANF funds that was supposed to go to kids to help them get through school disappeared? Or would you rather have somebody say, "Hey, why don't we just make buses free? Why don't we just make public transportation free? At least you
Right.
see it."
I'd rather my
And
dollars go to something, yeah, noble.
yeah, I mean, at least if they saying that, you got something to point your finger at. It's hard to point your finger when Buddy then made off with $100 million and you didn't even know it was happening. I mean,
Can I ask a? I want to ask. I want to play devil's advocate here. What if you do that? Because I mean, we preface this with saying that I do, I do like the idea of providing a baseline level of service to citizens. Say that. But devil's advocate here. let's say that is your city's priority. Take the tax dollars, put it into services for the citizens to use, and that's an ongoing expense, right? That you have to pay every single year. Assuming that your citizens or your residency in the city either stays equal or grows, you can maintain that for those set services, right? And I'm assuming in this idea, you're not operating for a surplus. You're want to take anything that would be a surplus and put it towards something. So, all right, let's say that's the way that your government is operating. All right, now what happens whenever there is a infrastructure project that needs to take place and you don't have reserves in place to handle it? And I will say that this does happen today, right? Because if you pay taxes on your home, you see all the time, you see the tax increases, and they say this is because we need to fund whatever, right? But point being, I think there's a difference in ongoing expenses such as like buses or groceries that could one grow, also would be just this never ending money drain, and you would still need to have money for infrastructure projects or these other miscellaneous projects that become about, that you might not be able to afford unless you potentially have to cut something, or you have to have a dramatic tax increase on your residents to cover it, because you promised them, we're always going to give these things to you for free, no matter what. No matter if there's inflation, no matter if we have other priorities that we need to put in place or take care of, that could happen in a scenario. So playing devil's advocate, I mean, does that still sound like a good idea to use all tax dollars towards social programs that's going to be like an ongoing thing?
I think so,
Did he
and
say
this is
all?
why. He didn't say
Oh,
all, but I'm gonna take a tax example and use it. So I think so because at the end of the day, if people are enjoying their life, and if people are in a good if you are able to get a population of people who enjoy those type of things and are not that, then I don't think that's a struggle. It's hard. I think it's harder to convince people who are already struggling, who already are in a good mindset about how they feel that public money is being used to do more. But let's say, for example, you mentioned like the money aspect and getting things built. Well, you'll convince me to invest more of my time and more of my money and more of my tax if I see it. Like if I'll use Vicksburg for example. If Vicksburg had readily public transportation, had nice parks for me to go to, my quality and standard of life in Vicksburg was high, and the mayor said, "Hey guys, we want to do this project that's like I don't know an outlet mall, but we're gonna have to raise taxes." I'm all aboard because at least I see where my money's going. I see it's being good used for good, and my quality of life is excellent. Right? The people who live in these nice towns, they don't mind paying the extra in taxes because they're benefiting from the niceness of the towns. Like Jalen lives in Ridgeland. I don't think anybody in Madison, Mississippi is complaining about the niceties they're having to pay for. Or like the downtown this lady's trying to annex. Do you think so, Jalen? Because it's nice, comparable to where
no.
everybody else is.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're giving me
Mm-hmm.
quality of life, then we can figure that other tax stuff out, Shaq, in my opinion. But if my quality of life sucks and you're still trying to get money out of me, I ain't gonna be nearly as amicable as I would be vice versa. I mean, I think that's just how that.
My my biggest issue with a lot of this guy's policies is like he's basically just patterning after what politicians in Europe have tried, and even like in Venezuela with the with the grocery store stuff, and it's like it just don't work, man. Like socialism just does not work. Like um, I think
But
I saw somewhere it was like in Venezuela, huh?
but we use it
Yeah,
all the
so
time.
in Venezuela, wait. Let me say in this situation because we you talking about socialism as a broad term. I'm talking about the socialism that this guy is trying to implement. If you cap prices on grocery items like eggs, milk, cooking oil, whatever, then what happened in Venezuela was they just stopped stocking the capped items because they was losing money on. You know what I mean? Like it just caused shortages. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got the free whenever you disrupt the free market, unless this dude just has some like just brilliant new ideas that he gonna put into it, it's not gonna work long term. Initially, everybody's gonna fall in love with it. Oh man, I can get some eggs for $3,
But
even
wouldn't
though
that be
it costs the grocery
subsidized?
store $3.25 to get them. And then eventually, the grocery store is just gonna say, "I'm not gonna buy eggs no more because there's no way I can make
When
money on them."
if the government did that though, wouldn't it be subsidized by the government? Like the cap, for instance, the eggs cost $5 and then to the consumer it was $3. Wouldn't $2 be subsidized by the government? So either way, whoever, the producers are
I
still
don't
getting
know.
paid.
Well, Zohan,
I don't know how. I
Because
don't
they
know how
can't
he's gonna
just,
try to implement it.
I,
yeah, because I mean, I just
I
can't
think
But
he's
in
gonna.
see just
Venezuela,
saying
that's
that.
what happened. They just stopped.
I think he's going to do it at wholesale pricing. So he's not. So I think the way I'm guessing he would do it is that you would sell eggs at a price that doesn't have. If you're going to do city-owned grocery, right? Again, this is for a city. I know you mentioned Venezuela as a country. This is like the city of New York. I think he's going to do it at a wholesale price that doesn't have a profit margin in it, right? Because at a grocery store or whatever, they're going to have their profit built into their price to make a profit. Obviously, I think his is more so wholesale. I do agree with you though, Anthony. In some aspects, I think it is far stretching. But if there's any city that could do it, it's New York. Like they have the biggest tax base in America. So if there's any city that you could possibly let this be like because you got to try something. Because everything else, it's apparently has people in poverty. I just want to see how it works out, and I love to see somebody who is like he's your Elon Musk in this equation, right? He is the opposite of both parties. He's closer to Bernie Sanders than anything. And he like if you look at what he's running against, Eric Adams, a criminal, and Cuomo, another criminal. Like
Eric Adams is a criminal.
huh?
Eric
What'd
Adams
you say,
is
Yeah,
RG?
wild
how is
out.
Eric Adams a criminal?
You
How is
know he
Eric
How is Eric
Adams a
Adams a criminal?
criminal?
he was in court for the fraudulent stuff and he had to make that deal with President
Charges
Trump to get
dropped.
those right, but he obviously made the deal to avoid going to jail. Look, I'm not here either side. I'm just telling you the man was on trial and then he wasn't on trial. Look, I'm
This
not
ain't
against
call a
Eric
man a
Adams.
criminal who has not been convicted.
Is look, hear me out. Semantically, right? He was in trouble for some stuff that dealt with the city of New York, right? And he did some. He had an opportunity to get out of it. He did. Same for Governor Cuomo. Same thing happened to him in 2021. Some stuff came up. He ended up having to get rid. He ended up having to leave the mayor office. So what I'm saying is, it's a perfect storm for this guy to win because he's coming in against two people who you would view in the aspect of being flawed. Like I'm not here to argue Eric Adams. I'm not here to argue Cuomo. I'm not here to argue Zamandi. I'm just telling you what the facts are about it. They are two flawed candidates. If you've been following this, he is probably flawed too, but not in the aspect of them being the old guard. So it's just interesting to see how this turns out. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to this, but it's interesting to see for the city of New York. Because I don't think a Democrat has lost the city of New York in quite some time, and he won the Democratic primary. So it's going to be a precedent. He had a 15-point lead going into November. We're going to see. It'll be very interesting.
Willie, can I take residency in your utopia just briefly one more time? I'm just gonna
He
I'm
calling
gonna
people
come
not
visit it
convicted
again real quick.
criminals.
I just
So
I just want to ask. All right,
Yeah.
so In Jalen's example, he said that the government would subsidize any any losses. I'm assuming that the business would take, right? So like, and you said even if he does it at wholesale costs, he's gonna subsidize any losses the business would take. Is that correct?
I have no idea, honestly, on that. And
We
Okay.
don't know.
Well, I'm
We don't know
assuming.
how he's gonna implement it. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm just saying, is that the conjecture? Is that the guess that we're going with? But let's just go with that, right? 'Cause that was the example presented.
probably.
If you know anything about government contracts, when it comes anytime a contractor knows that the government is paying for something, they're automatically going to charge them more because they know the government has the deepest pockets out of any potential client. Contractors they foam at the mouth for government contracts. And this is essentially be the same thing. If I know that any products that I sell to this city is gonna, no matter what I charge them, it's gonna get bought. They're gonna pay for it because this
Well,
city is paying for it.
that's not true.
And I'm just saying, free money is never free. It
But
never is.
but the government, it's not free. This is the thing. This is my argument with this whole thing. It's not like him putting two city groceries in Manhattan is gonna blow the world to pieces. People who shop at Aldi are gonna still shop at Aldi. Like, dude, Walmart's down the street. I shop at Kroger. I'm gonna always shop at Kroger. Dollar General probably has a better deal. I'm gonna shop at Kroger. I'm a Kroger shopper. New York. This is why I say New York's so interesting. It's 8 million people. It's not like he's bringing it into Vicksburg or even a city like Austin, where it's like a nub over 1 million people or so, right? In Austin, it's 8 million people. If there's any city in this country that could pull off what he's trying to pull off, because basically what he's saying is the excess money has been used to strictly line pockets. Like it's not even getting used for what it should be used for. It's really just fraudulent. He has a case because that's what Eric Adams was on trial for. He wasn't convicted, as R. King said. He was on trial for the misappropriation of funds. So what I'm saying is, this is one out of like every city in America. This guy is trying. He's 33 years old. He's born in Africa. He's Muslim. He's everything the establishment says is bad right now. And I just want to see what happens. Because at the end of the day, bro, it's like Barack
And we
Obama,
got
right?
it.
There was 46 presidents before him, but everybody say he the worst. Well, those people say he the worst. I'm like, so the one that slipped through the cracks, he the worst, all of a sudden. But the 46 before him are all good. Let's give the boy a shot. Let the kids play. Boy a shot.
I
Yeah,
I'm
we
willing.
gotta stop. We can't pretend that governments don't have, or even in on a city scale. You know what I'm saying? The mayoral office, like we can't pretend that these guys don't have the possibility to move funding around, to move budgets around. You know what I'm saying? Every year, every fiscal year, you change where you're getting or where you're giving this and that to. Moving this by this percentage, moving this by that percentage. So for a project like this, taking 3% out of your total budget, 2% out of your total budget, that being a couple million to a few 10 millions of dollars, that's more than enough to try this project out without having a big
Cowboys won
impact on
over the
their
big
finances.
deal.
Willie and Jalen are both falling for the okey doke. Y'all both falling for the okey doke. Every politician come in every year say what? I'm gonna change. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. This
And
guy's
you
so hard.
still
I
gonna
watched him
vote.
today. And this dude, he trying to throw. He throwing Joe Biden up under the bus. He throwing Cuomo up under the bus. He throwing everybody up under the bus. Just saying they did it wrong. They did it wrong. But it's just like Kash Patel, who became the director of the FBI. He was talking so much noise about conspiracy and aliens and Jeffrey Epstein. And when he get in there, he's going to do this. And when he finally became director of FBI and got up there with Joe Rogan, yeah, Jeffrey Epstein, he killed himself. What just came out yesterday? There is no client list. You know what I'm saying? Because when Zohan get in there, all the stuff he just was talking about, that's just to get your vote. He just gonna flip at the end of the day. Like he not gonna
Hey
make no
man,
grocery store that's free. Who gonna make a grocery store that's free? A grocery store that's free, Jalen, everybody gonna rush up in there, and then the 12 eggs that they got is gonna be gone from the first
He
12
ain't
people to
say
get up in
free.
there.
it ain't
He ain't
free.
say free. He said a discount. It's just like Wick. You could
Wholesale
even
price.
make people have a card or something to even get in. It's like Costco. Everybody can't get in Costco,
Yeah,
or at
Who
least
you
they're
think
not
gonna get
supposed
in
to.
there, Jalen?
So you
Who you
can,
think gonna get in there?
but I
it's
don't
not
know who whoever his target audience is. I'm just saying the idea is
poor people.
certainly
Like
plausible.
y'all. That's what I'm saying. Y'all wilding right now. This is that privilege. It's not like he making this. Oh,
That's
every.
that privilege, man.
It's a target audience for poor people. Like, and again, this isn't the state of New York. This isn't the country like Cash Patel. This is a city. That's why in a micro scale, I think it can work.
A
I
city
think
that's
his
bigger than the majority of the states in the U.S. Okay,
Which is
okay.
why they got the money, Arkeem.
that's
Which
what
is
I'm
why
Okay.
they
saying.
got the money. San
This,
Francisco just did a
if
whole
we just being
project
real, and we
with
just being
autonomous
real,
cars. With autonomous cars, that was a wash. The
there's
whole
more
company
people, and
essentially gone, sunk
Like
millions of dollars. So if
it's
you can have an experiment like that that's not even of necessity, but is of automation of going up to the future, then you could certainly try something
it's
that's
not that
of substance like
MT,
this.
MTA is huge in New York. The idea of having public buses be free is not crazy, right? In my opinion, with that tax base, that's not crazy to me. Like, I mean, like
No,
again,
that's not
it's
crazy.
like Mother
Man,
and
originally, I seen something in the brochure saying that they could charge an extra 2 or 3% on your taxes at restaurants and stores and stuff like that to make a park, to build a park in a city. They were having people vote on this, whatever it was, vote on this so to add something. I didn't even know you could do that. So all I'm saying is, there's ways if you want to try something, especially if it's for the betterment of a different of a poor populace, you can try it, man.
he
It's
just don't.
possible,
He's
especially
just
in
a
a huge
guy.
city like that.
He's just a guy. The guy Zohan is just a guy. I don't really want to speak out against the man, but he's just a dude who ain't never dealt with no overhead. He ain't never been down a piece of paper writing on what he supposed to do on a business. And I can tell by the way he talking. He's just a dude who went to school and signed up and said, I want to run. He ain't never sat down in front of no he ain't never sat down with no overhead and did no expenses, and he ain't never done none of that. Because
but
this
that's what his
man
team for. Though.
got
Ain't that what his team for?
yeah, but he got up there and said, this man got up there and
Hey man,
said,
at
hey,
some
did you
point,
see how he got up there and said, man, all right, Shaq. He got up there and said, man, did you see how they gave Cuomo $2 million like real estate owners? It was like a real estate pack, I guess. Gave Cuomo $2 million to run. He was like, they funded themselves with $2 million to give to Cuomo, but then they turn around and say they have to raise the rent because they're not making any money. It's like, bruh, they probably getting squeezed. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just
They're not just saying that. They probably getting squeezed. And then that's why they ran to the super PAC to save their business. Most people who own a business, that's not the only thing they doing for money, bro.
I just look, man. At the end of the day, the youth gonna have to take over at some point. I mean, like I said, it don't have anything to do with me. I live in Mississippi. He's in New York City. But the fact that there's somebody trying at 33, like Cuomo is finna be 70 something years old, bro. The youth gonna have to up at some point, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Like Anthony said, it's gonna be rough. But I mean, our time is coming. Boomers can't just run it forever. And hell, man, some guns trying. Will it work? Maybe not. Who knows? But I know one thing: if you don't try, you damn sure ain't gonna make it. So I just want to see how it pops. To be honest, salute to the youth, bro. 33 years old.
Yeah.
I'll give
I'm
them
not
that.
going
Yeah.
against the guy.
They
Oh
I'm
say
no,
not going against the guy.
Gen,
I'm just saying that
Gen
what
X
he
is finally taking over.
Are we Gen X?
No, we Gen Y.
Gen
I thought
X
we was
is
millennials.
the one in front of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we millennials?
So,
No.
yeah, millennials are Gen Y though.
Oh, well, is he a
So
millennial?
basically, the group between us and boomers, it says that they are kind of taking the reins in politics now.
So people who are like 50
Like
years old.
they finally getting a grip on. Yeah, cause the old guard, they on their way out now.
Yeah.
It's not that many Bernie Sanders left.
Mm-mm. Now my mama, I think she like one of the youngest boomers, and she's 70 almost. So yeah. Hey, bro, we gonna have to get in there with Gen X then, cause like it's millennials time, bro. Like we too cool, we too tech savvy. We got look. Let's be dead ass. Zohan won strictly off of social media. Like he knew how to navigate Instagram and get the like. It's our time, bro. Arcane, he challenging you to run for office. You talk about this. He the same age as you, damn near. He's saying turn up, bro. Don't skip Gen X. Come to
What you
Gen Y.
mean?
Yeah, cause
Come to Death
Yeah,
Row.
we
yeah,
coming
cause Gen
in.
X, they just seem weak.
Exactly, bro. We gotta
They should
knock
have
Gen
been
X.
took over.
We gotta knock Gen X, bro. I forget they exist sometime, Anthony. I ain't gonna lie. Like
Yeah,
all I
cause
hear is boomers and millennials.
yeah, they're really silent. And we're the youngest millennials. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We on that borderline between millennial and Gen Z. So
But we all in the
they
news, bro.
time might have
Like like like
passed. You're
like
right.
the millennials, the boomers got beef with us because we all in the monk, bro. We all in the news. We all doing like listen, like when I see the young people who doing stuff, they like millennials. You know what I'm saying? Like we like bro, perfect example. Old boy who got Red Lobster, the black dude. What is he? A millennial.
He with us.
Probably a millennial.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like we coming with it. We coming with. They gotta show love. Snapchat, like come on, bro. We gonna. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I have a strong. This might be reaching. I have a strong thing. I think millennials are gonna be what saves the world. I got a positive spin on stuff, but I think millennials are gonna be like what takes it to that. I know Elon is like he probably a Gen X. He might be a millennial too. Hell, I don't know, but we gonna be the ones that get this ship straight.
Mm-mm.
I think. Like if we can get our stuff together and kind of keep the
He
wild
definitely
bunch
Gen X.
and keep the wild bunch, in the out the wick, because we got a wild bunch on our end too. But if we can keep them tame, I think millennials, cause Gen Z, bro, they they
But
they they,
they
they gonna
they're
need
not
our
gonna
guidance.
be here in them years.
They gonna need our guidance, bro. Cause they a lost generation. We can't hand it over to the YN. We gotta say today, bro.
I think
You're right. And I like Zohan. Hey, I'm thinking about should we run with Elon, join the American Party?
I was thinking about that too.
Run with Elon, American Party. I mean, because if you like, hey, look, I'm running under his, he'll reach out and be like, bruh, I'll give you $1 billion. Oh no.
I don't, man. What's the stipulations for like the American Party? Just seems like I don't want it to have American in it, bro. Don't call it the American Party, please. Like he could have came up with some other name other than the American Party.
It's because he made that
Cause
shit up
I,
on the toilet while he was just tweeting.
cause I ain't gonna lie, if it's how he running X, oh, people that look like us,
Yeah,
oh,
American Party don't sound like he.
Ooh.
Y'all
Stick and
fooling
move. Stick and
around.
move.
Hey, this is the most mobile podcast. We got any more topics?
Yeah, we got the Epstein files.
Oh God.
Um,
Oh my God.
what happened to the Epstein's client list?
Just like I
There
said,
was a
Cash
lot
Patel
of
say, ain't no list. Huh?
yeah.
Hey,
Before
if
they got
Cash
in,
said
they was
ain't
like,
no
"We're
list,
gonna go in there."
I'm saying ain't no list. That's my comment. Ain't no list.
Hey, he said,
What
Cash
Anthony say
say ain't no
last week?
Yeah,
list.
Hey,
they was.
I want a next episode. That's what Anthony said. Hey, I want a next episode.
Cash say it
Hey,
ain't no
but
list.
it's a lot of chatter around because I think the attorney general, they asked her, yeah, what's the latest on the Epstein list? They asked her this like a few months ago, and she said it's on my desk to review right now. But now they saying there's no list, and she responded to that and said she meant the entire Epstein file, the entire case was on her desk to review, not the list in particular.
Oh my gosh, bro! Isn't that what he?
So,
Isn't that what they?
so, so even if there is a list, this the problem. People think that it's gonna say, like, let's just say black people, right? Black people our age. They want it released because they think it's gonna be people on there that they know. You see what I'm saying? They think it's gonna be Jay-Z, Beyonce, Michael, but it's not gonna be them. He didn't. First of all, this dude was rich doing this stuff before they were even born. Like before they even got to a certain level of fame. Like Jeffrey Epstein was a financier. He wasn't a rapper. He wasn't a musician. So he didn't hang with musicians. He was a financier. And basically, Jeffrey Epstein was the kind of guy who can, he had a specific type of client. And if you owe the IRS $1 billion, he could make it 200 million. With like, he had like a method of writing things off, and you wouldn't get indicted for the things he wrote off. So Jeffrey Epstein was a vehicle in making the rich get richer. And when you do that, you obtain a lot of clients. If you save a guy $600 million, a lot of people are gonna be at your island anyway. And some people think that he was getting these guys, rich people, to his island, and then giving them massages, people not knowing they were young girls, and he was recording it, and then blackmailing these famous people, these extremely rich, not necessarily famous, but these extremely wealthy people. Some people think he was doing that. Other people think that he just was only, he was hiding it, being by himself, getting with young girls. We don't actually know. We know he had something to do with young girls, but it's just like America has this thing where they kind of want to be entertained so bad. They entertain themselves by the thought of something, the possibility of something happening. And
Exactly.
then, yeah. And then when the
And
truth
and
comes
and
out,
that's kind.
go ahead.
Yeah, and that's kind of the part that I was thinking about. Like, I think the idea of a client list was made up from the beginning. Like, I don't think an official source ever said, "Hey, there's a client list." I think somebody speculated that, and it just got traction. You know,
Exactly.
the fact, and it's the same way with clients. Period. Like, did an official source ever say, "Yeah," and he used to fly people out to his island, and they were his clients, and he could set them up with young girls, or was that just speculation that got traction? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because there was a lot
So
of stuff like that with Diddy. They said that there was little people, like like kids, involved in this case, but the prosecutors never said that. And I remember hearing somebody at the bar. I was like, Diddy, I think Diddy gonna walk free, and they were like, don't you have a nephew who's 2 years old? Like, yeah. Like, he was trafficking kids. I was like, I ain't hear about that. But, somebody may have said that to make them hear that. They heard that and then they repeated it, you know. So that's where it goes. And then when we finally get the Diddy case, everybody be like, but what about all those kids he trafficked? That never happened. They're like, that's because they took it out. And it's just like, man, you want
Yeah.
to entertain yourself so bad, you kind of like not living in reality. You want to be entertained by something so bad. But and I
Well,
think like
it might not even just be people are trying to entertain themselves, but they don't know the difference. They've never gotten facts from the horse's mouth.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. Yeah, like I saw like Roshan was sending something and then he was like, look at this. And I was like, dude, that's a civil suit. If any of that stuff was remotely true, the feds and had proof, the feds would have picked it up and put it in the case, man. To try to book him, to try to lock him down. They would have did it. That's how I saw DJ Vlad today. He was on there with Tony Busby, that lawyer. He asked him straight up, he said, why weren't any of your 100 clients brought into the federal case? And he was like, because they couldn't. But then early in the case, early on the show, Tony Busby said, yeah, they made a mistake by not bringing any of my clients in there. You should hear some of the stuff. And then he came back and said the reason why they weren't put in there is because the feds know all that stuff is not credible. And then he came back and said, well, it's because they couldn't, you knucklehead. You don't know what you're talking about. Never gave no explanation. But that's because none of the Lil Rod was not called to the stand because all that stuff is not credible and they know it's not going nowhere. It's a waste of time. And if they had those people up there, they would have got tore up in cross examination and then it would have made the case look even weaker than it already was. You know? So you just gotta, but everybody isn't as well versed as we are with these type of things, you know.
Yeah, and then even in the response you just said that Busby gave, you don't even know what you're talking about, knucklehead. He left it intentionally vague, intentionally open ended, so that he never had to give straight answers. It's all just like a
Yeah.
cycle.
Yeah.
Like
And
I
then
actually heard
Vlad,
this dude on CNN today. He said the clickbait industrial complex. I said that's facts right there.
I think the same thing. Willie, what are you doing? Push ups?
No, I was cutting something. On this case, though, guys, I ain't gonna lie to you. I
Epstein?
think there, I think there was something that happened. Honestly, like that, like
Yeah,
being dead
yeah.
serious. But I mean, is it as flagrant? I have no idea. I do know that this has been a hotbed topic, and I think this was the topic that President Trump ran on, was that he was going to release the Epstein files, even when they came into office. You know, just like he was going
Wait
to
a
end
minute. He
the
said that.
yeah, he ran with that on his thing. But like Pam Bondi, she said the list like this, like the first day. He also said he was going to end the Ukraine and Russian war like day one. So it's been a lot of stuff said. But I do think this Epstein thing, granted, what can you do? He's dead. Now that chick's still in jail, which is kind of interesting, but he's dead. Did some stuff happen? Maybe. Better, I think it's better than not some stuff did happen. But it's like with them, if they just say it ain't no list or there's nothing to see, who's going to check them on that? I mean, that's again. I mean, whether you like Cash or not, he's the FBI director. Pam Bondi is the Attorney General for the United States. It's only so much leash you can even run with, even if it's 100% everything that they said he did. He did and more. What can I do? What can you do? What can you do? Right? So this is the thing of knowing and not and the knows. What did he say in Boondocks? There are known knows and there are unknown unknowns. This is one of those things where you just gonna have to let it be. I know the big conservative base on Twitter is like, oh, we were promised a list. We need to figure out if there's pedophiles. And look, dude, all this type of stuff been going on since the dawn of time. So go with your heart. But anything more than that, dude, like I said, I think whether he did it or not is a mute point. It's like when that dude got on TV in the Mike Brown case, and when he said that Mike Brown, like the officer was innocent, and that attorney general from Missouri said, "I know these people thought they saw what they saw, but they didn't see it." How do you top that? How do you
Well,
top that?
I think that this is the first story that's ever like from that QAnon. You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
that fringe group QAnon. This is the first QAnon story that ever got traction and made it to the mainstream because they want so badly for like the richest people in the world to be I mean, to be
PDF files.
PDFs. Yeah, and it's like, man, that may not be the case.
Well, it's
But like you
because
say, Willie, if they are and they just won't tell us, then that's another thing. I mean, they got longer bread than anybody else.
Yeah.
well, see, the thing is, people try their best not to just have their eyes open. Y'all ever seen them shows where these guys catch these predators and stuff like that? They text them and get them to come to Burger King and slap them up and stuff. Them dudes ain't rich. You know, them dudes come there bummy, driving 1999s, everything. So PDF files ain't just rich people. They dudes who live down the street from you. You know, they people who work with you. They everyday people. And some of them and some of them could be rich sometimes, but it seemed like it just hit harder whenever it's a rich person. You know, but I just want to tell anybody watching, don't ever come to that conclusion that, hey, look, it's rich people that are sick and da da da. Hey, you see them every day, and they ain't all rich, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and and as far as Mr. Epstein, he dead. You know what I mean? He killed himself. Somebody killed him. I mean, but people like him do commit suicide though. Like, you know, they do commit suicide. But it's just like everybody don't want this movie to end. They just don't want it to end, bro. But it's over.
Now that suicide thing was crazy. I ain't gonna lie. That
Hey,
was wild.
Willie, you one of the people who just don't want to see the movie end, bro. But the
I don't
credits been
care, but
rolling.
that man was in a monitored cell with just him, and that nigga just it's hey I ain't gonna lie, the same thing, not even for Epstein, the same thing was crazy for Aaron Hernandez. He was in a monitored cell. Look, bro, I'm not saying either way. I don't really care, but I think it's traction both ways. I don't think
Why
it's
would
enough
they
to
want
say
to
it's
off? Why would they want to off Aaron Hernandez? Because then that's why they had to pay him out. That's why the Patriots had to
bro.
pay him out because he was dead. If he would have lived, they would have been able to prosecute him, give him a felony, and void
Bro,
his contract.
no, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I don't know why people do what they do. I don't know why they was testing them men in Tuskegee, talking about we giving y'all flu shots, and they was giving them boys syphilis. I don't know why folks do what they do.
So,
Like
do
you
you think
said,
his family sent a hit on him so they can get the money? See, because he didn't die. Aaron didn't die a criminal. He didn't die with a felony. So that way his contract couldn't be void.
I thought he died after he got convicted.
Well, I know that he was able to get paid out because they couldn't void his contract and they gave it to his daughter because he was technically innocent because he wasn't in jail yet. I
I
heard
don't know.
it's something like that. It's something like that. I don't know.
I ain't gonna lie to you guys. A lot of this stuff is way too much bandwidth for me. Uh, I mean, I know a lot of people run, like you said. I do agree with you. A lot of people run this stuff into the absolute ground. And you know what? Like that song, the less I know, the better. I'm of that mindset. Less I know, the better.
Yeah. Yeah. I I totally agree with that. Like it reminded me of that song Atlantic City. They blew up the Chicken Man in Philly last night. And they blew
They
up his
blew up
house
his
too.
house too.
Down on the boardwalk.
Well,
They ready for a
for a
fight.
fight.
Want to see
Trying to
what
see
them
what them
racket
racket
boys can
boys
do.
can do.
I don't want to see what them racket boys can do. I don't want to play ball no more. I want to go home.
Hey,
Hey, Anthony, I heard you want to see what them racket boys can do.
hey man, everything dies, baby, that's a fact. But maybe everything that dies someday comes
Someday it
back.
come back. Put your makeup on, make your hair look pretty, and meet me tonight in Atlantic
And
City.
it, ooh, that's the clip.
Hey man.
That-
That's the clip. Arcane think he a boardwalk empire, bro. You ain't no boardwalk empire.
Hey, look, but I'll tell you one thing about a lot of these people. Hey, we might well get into a little small Vicksburg, a little small. What's going on at Vicksburg and post it up.
I'm with it.
I'm with it.
You
Willie,
got
what's
time,
going on?
Willie?
Or
Yeah,
you
I'm just cutting
scared?
pie.
You scared? All
Huh?
right, so what we talking about? What's going on in the city? Like George is
New
out.
regime, bro.
Willis
First
is
time
in.
in 12 years. New regime.
Mm. It's a new
They
regime out
say
there,
King
man.
George is gone.
Is he getting a is he getting a audit done for George? Because I know he cut his young boss cut his pay.
Well, the first audit was, well, I ain't gonna lie, was even bigger than George, I think, is that whole school board thing. So the
Mm-hmm.
first audit was for the school board. They
Okay,
had 7 infractions.
17.
Yeah.
Okay, look out, Vicksburg.
And so, but see, the thing is, this is the big complaint. It's the current superintendent and it's the past one. A lot of those infractions happen under the past superintendent, uh, Sheely, and then the new superintendent, he getting a lot of heat for what he doing. But that's one of them things too. The less I know, the better, bro. They lost me when them boys didn't combine the schools. That was my claim to fame. Cause you gotta think about it. They were talking about combining the schools when we was all like in junior high. Like you was in a junior high, Arcane. We was in like the last years of elementary school. That's what they were talking about, combining the schools then.
Look,
But
why?
you know how
Why
that,
I remember Haley Barber wanted to combine all the colleges.
yeah. But but they were trying to save money because they were saying there's too many public schools in Mississippi. And Vicksburg at the time, population decline, they were talking about, oh, we might need to have this one school. But you know how people, like, bro, thinking about it, 10 years ago, if they would have combined the schools 10 years ago, think about where we would have been at. So 10 years ago, it would have been 2015. If they would have combined the schools in 2015, all this, oh, the money and all that would be a mute point right now. Because it's leading to that anyway. Warren Central's a 6A school. Vicksburg dropped down to 4A or 5A. So at one point, they're going to have to come to a point where our population, like look at Clinton. Clinton, a bigger city than Vicksburg, and
It
got one
is.
school city. So it's weird, right? Clinton's separate from the county. We all under one roof. So technically speaking, we have more people because it's Vicksburg Warren. And Vicksburg's the only city in Warren County. Clinton ain't the only city in Hines County. So, but they got Clinton Public Schools. You see how they just straight up gerrymander. Same with Madison County Schools and then Canton Public Schools. Anyway, That's a whole nother conversation. But
Sound like something I do. Go ahead.
I know how. Yeah, you separate Jackson Public Schools, Hines County Schools, and then you got Clinton Public Schools. That's kind of crazy. You think about it. But look, man, I think at some point they're gonna have. I don't think Vicksburg's gonna get a population boom, barring some incredible policies and some incredible like building of this city. I don't think the population's gonna grow. I think with President Trump, downsizing the federal workforce, which y'all know, Erdick and the Vicksburg district are big federal workforces, that could cause the economics to change a lot here. Now, if they do get that harbor done, that could help grow the population. But that's also it's on the docket to get the new harbor. But I think we're in a very interesting point in Vicksburg. It could go either way. It could go good or it could go bad. But I think it's gonna go. You know,
Okay.
I don't. Which one?
man, I don't.
I mean, it could go. It could go either way.
It could. It
Well,
could.
that's what he just said. I said which one?
Typically, Vicksburg it goes bad.
Hey,
Being
gee,
honest,
I wonder why. Yeah, the population decreases every year for like the past 20 years. I bet it
it
does
does.
go bad.
I mean, I will say the development in the city is much better, but
Did the hot dog
like where
man
I live,
sell the hot dog man?
man, everybody trying to sell everything. Look like it. But like where I'm at, it's chill. But that's just me. I'm only speaking on mine. I'm in a midtown area. Downtown is kind of booming. Like it's
Willie.
new restaurants and stuff. Like they just opened back up the biscuit company. Like if
I
there was
saw
any
that.
part of town popping, like actually where you could see like people gravitating to, it's downtown. But like the outlet mall, the big mall, better get that movie theater. It's
You're either getting money or ready. Never mind. Hey, look, Willie. I'm now. You know what? I'm gonna tell everybody this, just in case anybody is foul out podcaster. In today's society, you either one of two things. You're either getting money or you're ready to die. Now go look at everybody on social media and look at their posts. Look what they saying and think about that quote. You're either getting money or ready to die.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, man, I
Well,
appreciate y'all for joining.
a
Been a
shout out to
great
all
pod.
the new management in Vicksburg, Mississippi, and everything they got going
Got a
over there.
entirely new garden there. Nobody has been in there longer than what, 2 years?
yeah,
Population drops by another 10%. I'm like, oh my god. It hasn't had a population increase in like a quarter century.
Mm.
So
But yeah,
yeah, I
man,
know.
appreciate y'all for joining. I low key want to jump on the phone with y'all after this, but we got 5 fouls and we about to
About to
foul out,
file
man.
out. Worst part ever.
Peace.
All right.